on, trying to control it. And other times when I can surrender to that energy, when I can just let go and trust that, whoa, everything is happening for me and not to me, and just allow it to be like a water slide, like just life take me. Um, and that's why I love bringing you here, my dear one, because you speak into evolutionary astrology. So why don't we just give a little, intro of what is evolutionary astrology and what are the eclipse seasons? What are we doing here today?
Right. Oh, thank you so much for having me. I'm Daria, and yeah, I follow the evolutionary astrology of Jeffrey Wolf Green. He's been a great teacher to me, and I've learned quite a lot from him. Well, evolutionary astrology is that we see the soul as an evolutionary being, coming from past lives, trying to learn something, going through steps in order to evolve and to, I guess, get enlightened or finally get out of the wheel of samsara, right? What we call it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah,
mm-hmm,
but evolve into love, evolve into light, right? And that's why the nodes, the south node and the north node, are so important. They're the evolutionary, the tail and the nose of our soul, where we're coming from and where we're going, right? And
mm-hmm.
so, as we look today, we look at the eclipses. It's when the sun and the moon light up the south and the north node, right? So, where is the evolution of our soul, but also the collective soul going
Mm-hmm,
towards,
mm-hmm. Yeah,
right?
I know, like, so for people, it would be, important to see where their north and south nodes are, right? And I remember, like, when you read my chart years ago, like, whatever you were telling me about my north node or like my north star, I kind of already had a feeling. Like, it was no surprise that, like, my evolution, like, for my fullest expression, like, I was just like nodding. I'm like, oh yeah, this is it. So even if people don't know exactly where that falls in their chart, I truly believe that this is the time for us to stop pretending to be stupid and like really reclaim our sovereignty, reclaim our power. And deep inside, most of us already know where life is, calling us to step into, what needs to give birth or take birth. Most of women that I talk to now, they are overdue. They carried the babies for too long. So I want to dive into this more of what is available here for us around this particular eclipse, and the collective. For humanity, I think we're living in a very, very transformational and pivotal time of planet Earth, and I'm frankly super excited about all that is happening and like everything that's emerging and popping up there. So yeah, tell us,
Absolutely,
tell us, Mama.
absolutely. Oh. To be honest, this is a beautiful time to live on planet Earth. And, the evolution of the soul has been coming towards love for itself, right? Like love for ourselves, for our bodies, for our five senses, for us being fully integrated and fully, present and born on this planet, right? As we went through the North Node in Gemini, we learned how to communicate, how to put, our barriers down. Now it's in Taurus, and the Taurus is calling us to realize that we're right here, right now. We're being incarnated into this physical body. That we have our five senses, right? And we're here for pleasure and enjoying ourselves, our bodies. The smell, the taste, and everything that comes with it, and realizing our own resources, starting with ourselves. So
Mhm.
Venus is the ruler of Taurus. And so when the eclipse happened, we always look at where is the ruler of the eclipse, right? To know what special messages it's bringing to us and to the collective at large, right? So
Mhm.
right now it's in Pisces, and more than ever, you are the queen of vision. Pisces is a very big sign in your chart, as we know it, and so we're letting people know that as well. And so you are
Mhm.
the queen of vision.
Yeah.
Both Mars and Venus are in vision right now, are in Pisces. So it's
Yeah.
calling us to see where we're going, to
Mhm.
step into the big vision of
Yeah.
ourselves.
That's what I've been feeling this like month. Even I would say like in the beginning of the year, I started feeling this like pulse from underneath the earth, kind of like a volcano like pulse. And it literally started rolling out a few weeks ago, of like dreaming big. Like, and that's what I'm encouraging all the sisters around me too, in our masterminds and one-on-ones. It's like, this is not the time to play small or even be logical. It literally calls us out to like, see the big picture. And what I'm inviting people to do, even like when it comes to our purpose, our vision, our mission, it's like dream the vision that's so big that you might not even be able to fulfill, but you might start the stepping stones. You might start a dance that somebody else is going to pick up
Mm.
and continue, but gives permission to others. Give yourself that room to play. But that's so the one thing that I'm encouraging, and I see that people do with vision is they're either make it too small or too, logical. So this is the time to like go out there, play big, like dream big. What would that look like? Who do you want to be with? And all that beautiful stuff. Hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I love what you said in your previous videos, right? That you made for your mastermind, that maybe the vision you have, you won't be able to complete it in this lifetime. Like, that's not important. The important right now, the importance is not to check if this is a viable vision or you can complete it in this lifetime, or how many limitations you have towards completing this vision, right? Venus is to a degree conjunct Jupiter. Jupiter is the ruler of Pisces. So we're having a very potent time on the same day that we have the eclipse, which is tomorrow. They're conjuncting, Venus conjuncts Jupiter in Pisces. So the vision has to be big. And the vision we're making is for planet, it's a planetary vision for the planet, for humanity, for the new earth.
Hmm.
Like, this is what the energies of the universe is calling us in. Like, all of us light workers, we have to make a bigger vision of a world that's happier, that lives in peace, that shares resources, shares joy, shares community, shares tribe. Let's go of all the, all of these games of competition, of bigger, of better, whatever it is, whatever the games that we're playing. The universe is asking us right now to drop all of them and to really
Hmm.
fall in love with the vision and fall in love with ourselves. The Venus in Pisces is more of in the inner position, like more of the introvert position, let's say. So this is a time to love yourself, love your vision, and like, everybody who's listening to this, I invite you to really look in your life and realize that now is the time where you really start to fall in love with everything that you've created. Started to, you're starting to fall in love with yourself. You realize that, wow, I've come this far. I've done so much, and look how amazing and great I am. This is a time for gratitude as well. Pisces is about gratitude. Jupiter is about gratitude, right? So
Hmm.
giving thanks to everything that we've created. You know that we fought hard, and if you've been following our podcast, that
Hmm.
especially that we did last summer, right? When Venus was oppositioning, Pluto, and we're being in the transformation, we're letting go of the work that didn't serve you, of the partner that wasn't serving you, and people really had a hard time last summer letting things go. Where
Yeah.
now we've let go of everything. Now we have the clean slate, and now we're putting in the seed, which is the vision
Hmm.
that we have. So now is not the time to think what doesn't work, and look at the more objective part of it, right? Like the more disciplined part.
Yeah. Yeah.
The eclipse always come in two. So what's going to happen is that on May 14th, 15th, we're going to have the second eclipse, which is going to be the full moon in Scorpio. And there it's going to be squaring the Saturn. So where it's going to square Saturn, we're going to see where is it that we're missing the actual factual pieces, where we're missing
Hmm.
discipline, where we're missing the day to day, where we need to put in the time and the effort to make the dream happen. That's going to be
Yeah.
in May.
Amazing. Amazing. Yeah. I've been feeling the Saturn has already been poking us. So like really questioning the structures. And I want to share a few mantras that I've been rolling with and sharing. And one of them is Saturn comes in like 7-year loops and structures, right? So right now, what got me here is not necessarily what's going to get me to my next vision and next dream. So it's like time to really look at the structures that, you know, we've relied on, or maybe some practices, morning practices, evening practices, habits that have worked for us so far. And right now it's really time to, like, you know, create and bring in something new. Um, Another piece that I want to share is about vision. How you're talking about this, you know, higher vision and everything. And I've been working with visions and goals for, God, almost a decade. It's part of my Gene Keys code, actually, to activate that for people. So I'm really, like, you know, happy to be in my own brilliance, and I'm also I want to make sure that some people have those few things that you like. Number one is knowing what your unique brilliance is. What are your unique gifts, talents that are almost like natural for you? Whether it's teaching, whether it's act of service, being in service, whether it's you know, being crafty and doing something, but really identifying what are your natural gifts that light you up. That when you're doing it, it actually energizes you more than, you know, sharing and depleting you. So like being in your natural zone of genius is key. Another one is it aligned with your values? So if your values are family or health, for example, is your business model or whatever you're sharing, does that fit into your value system? Because very often, like, you know, I give this example many times. You know, I'm a free spirit. I love to travel. I don't like any constraints on my schedule. You know, I want to be able to open my laptop and work when I'm in Hawaii or anywhere else, you know. And I was a yoga teacher. So opening up a yoga school for me, like a yoga physical studio space, was like a bird in a cage. It's not that it was a bad idea, but it did not align with my values. And all of a sudden I felt so trapped. So understanding what your values are, what your lifestyle is, what your visions are, your goals on different levels: physical, emotional, sensual, sexual, even spiritual, financial. So on all these levels, like, do your values, are they supportive of your business, of your gifts and talents? So that was number two. Number three is it sustainable? Making it sustainable in the world. Like, is that a sustainable business model that's gonna, you know, last a lifetime, or, you know, thrive in the crisis? Is it bulletproof? Is it, you know, online? Is it a product that people can consume over and over? Or is it just a one-time thing where, like, you're a massage therapist, for example, and, you know, there's a limited amount of hours that you do. So maybe creating another, you know, course or package there for people that can also be more sustainable for you. And then the fourth piece, I just threw it in there, that remembering that you're not alone. And I think that's the age of Aquarius, is that it's asking us to be part of the community. It's asking us to also release and surrender some of the control pieces of being that, like, you know, genius in your own office, but like coming out and actually, you know, doing exchanges, hiring a team, you know, doing collaborations. So I find that remembering that you don't have to do it alone. And there's a saying: if you want to go, what is it? If you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you know, don't be alone. Go with somebody. So team is a huge piece of, like, you know, allowing people to also be in their zone of genius as well.
Absolutely. Oh, you've touched on so many beautiful subject, absolutely. And yeah, and I wanted to share about the Taurus, well, the North Node and Taurus in general, what it's teaching us, right? And then the Uranus is in Taurus, like you mentioned, the part where we're creating a tribe, right? And we're collaborating. So the North Node in Taurus now is really teaching us how everything is a resource, you know. Sexuality is a resource, your body is a resource, you know, money that we share is a resource, the people we communicate with is a resource, that friend that you call and message for help is a resource, that coach that, you know, you use is a resource. So, you know, the North Node in Taurus is really teaching us how to use our resources productively, how to respect them. For example, our body being a resource, our health being a
Mhm.
resource, right? Our sexuality being a resource, how to respect it, how to use it productively, how to share it with people, how to say no where you don't have anything to give and if somebody is depleting your resource. But the most important thing that it's going to teach us for the next year and a half that the North Node is going through Taurus is to choose people and situations. And you've touched on that. So to choose people and situations that fill you up, activities
Mhm.
that fill you up. So whatever replenishes you and give you more and fills you in your tank is a yes, and the people, the situations, the businesses, whatever you do that depletes you, that takes out your energy, that it costs you, to show up, to be there, to listen to these types of people, to
Yeah.
live through these situations, and you're forcing yourself and you're being depleted of your resources, Taurus being the resource is a no-go. Like
Yeah.
only listening to our body, which is our biggest resource, we can
Yeah.
actually know how to live a happy life. The happiness lies within the reactions of the body, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I want to speak into that as we are breaking free from that old paradigm and transitioning into a new one. I think it's coming from that old paradigm of like that piece of codependency or like shying away from like asking truly for what you want, or the fears that a lot of women carry around like, wow, if I really ask for what I want, it could be like
Mhm.
selfish or it's going to turn away people. If I really even sexually, like, wow, if I'm this boss babe like in bed as well, this is going to trigger or I'm not going to find the right partner. And it's like this catch 22 thing where it's actually called pruning also in some marketing places. It's and gardening, it's like when you cut away what like entertaining, whatever those maybes are that we're entertaining in our life, like when we cut those off and we
Mhm.
fully reclaim our like full body yeses. This is what I want, this is how I want to be treated, this is how I want to spend my mornings, like unapologetically owning that and setting that as a new standard for ourselves, and also teaching people around us like this is what I like, around boundaries, about like anything, like whether it's physical, mental, energetic relationships, or around finances too. It's like really setting those standards for ourselves first. And then what I've seen happen is a reverse. There could be like that, gray zone, a little bit of reshuffling. Maybe some people start unfollowing you, or the wrong partners kind of like disappear. But sure enough, when you can own that and maintain that, the right people that are in much higher alignment start rolling into your life. Even like the right coaching clients, the right people start resonating because you are fully standing in your brilliance, in your self-worth, in that new elevated energy of like queen vibes for yourself that allows other people to do that too. And frankly, it becomes even more easier for me to be with people who have these stronger boundaries, or who know exactly, exactly what you're dealing with, what you're getting, and there's no emotions being like spilled around. So no like mind reading in there. So it's like it's beautiful, especially for work purposes as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, putting out standards, you're absolutely right. When you put out standards and when we start really choosing ourselves and realizing that there is no one other person in the world more important than yourself. And so when you're aligned with your heart and your vision, everybody and everything that falls apart or falls away, right? It's
Mhm.
simple hygiene, it's simple cleansing. Like you're not even losing them, you're like, this is literally hygiene where you're just like cleaning out whatever doesn't serve you. And when people are aligned with who you are and they're vibrating and stronger, by you standing your, putting your standards up, being strong within yourself, sharing your resources in the way that you want to, this attracts like this beautiful glow of like, I know who I am and I know what I can offer. And I do it by my own choice whenever I feel like it, out of the fullness of who I am. That
Mhm.
attracts the right people, right? So
Yeah.
I feel like this, so like this year and a half is really going to be about looking deep within your own life and realizing, where is it that you're living cold relationships? Where is it that, you keep giving and you keep giving, right? And the person is cold to you. Maybe it's a partnership, maybe it's a
Mhm.
boss. They're always critical, they're always taking, it's never enough, right? And you're always giving and just looking for a bit of confirmation, a bit of love, right? Like all of these, relationships that keep draining you on the long term, like we'd be really going to be living this part of ourselves where it's like, no, no, that doesn't serve me anymore. I deserve to be fully replenished. I deserve people to celebrate me for who I am and being grateful for what I do, even the little things. So they, you become fuller and you're ready to give more, right?
Yeah. Yes, I'm just smiling. I'm reading up the comments, and somebody's saying your glow definitely attracts Dasha. Hello, beautiful ladies. It's like it's that, right? Like when we shine, it gives people permission to also shine, and it activates
Yes.
one another, and it makes a bigger, brighter, bolder world. Absolutely. I know we're
Yeah.
coming to an end because we wanted to do this like a 20-minute little live. I want to add one more thing here before we go is um, I just had a whole 2-day class. On the first day was on embodiment. And if people want to go and check it out, it's in my bio. Um, what I find is like transformation happens on these like multiple levels. From like a yogic perspective, we have the koshas, like the layers of our being, right? So you were
Hmm.
saying like this last year eclipses, and the work was like really understanding what needs to go, what is not serving us, like cleaning
Yeah.
house. And I find very often it happens again at that like mental level where we know what we got to do. We know who's a fit and who's not. Like you understand it mentally, energetically, you know it. And I feel like right now the work is at this like physical level. Like show me where the money's at. Put the money where your mouth is at, right? That saying is like show it, you know? You know that what relationships are healthy for you, which are not, and yet some of us are still entertaining some of those ones. So I think this work is going to be at this like really ground level, foundational, physical level of like just do it. And again, transitions don't have to be dramatic. If you're
Yeah.
spending your weekends with people who are not nurturing you, maybe spend an hour on the phone or 20 minutes, or just swing by there. So minimizing those, and also simultaneously pouring this energy into what fulfills us, what fills us up. Because once we're going to do the tilt, it's just going to be inevitable. It's like, oh, my heart is so much more fulfilled here. My body feels good, my relationship feel amazing and fulfilling. So you're going to naturally start doing more of that and less of the other ones. So just remembering that they don't have to be dramatic and like crazy, but you can intentionally like minimize, and invest. And while we minimize and let go of something, simultaneously investing yourself into what is actually serving you, what is going to move the needle forward for you, what is going to bring you closer to your goals, and yeah, listening to that energy, trusting yourself. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, absolutely. And now when the Venus is conjunct Jupiter, now is the time to really fall in love with ourselves. Now is the time where it's like we really feel like, yeah, I love myself, I deserve it. The reasons why we entertain these relationships or addictive habits is, part of it doesn't love ourselves, right? And now's the time. Now's the time to fall in love and to say no. And when your standards go up and you just don't accept some, types of behaviors and some types of people, they just naturally fall away because you're shine.
Yeah.
Oh, Marina, it's such a pleasure always to do talks with you. We should do them more. You're an amazing, amazing embodiment and vision coach. Whoever didn't have a chance to check out her bio and her website and her work in general, she blossomed into a beautiful coach. And it's a pleasure
Thank
and a
you.
privilege to work with you.
Thank you, my love. Thank you. Maybe we can hop on the next phase of the eclipses in a couple of weeks as we navigate this eclipse corridor, what they call it, right? The transitional corridor of
Yeah.
transformation. So maybe we can hop on. I love doing these lives with you. And Daria is an amazing medicine woman. Also, check out her stuff and all the light and all the medicine that you are spreading. in the world and in your communities, and really
Hmm.
trailblazing this whole new paradigm of, working
Yeah.
with the shamanic principles and the medicines from the earth. So thank you for your work as well, my love. All right, everybody, let us know in the comments, what are you taking away from this conversation? What are you placing on the altar of, this weekend's eclipse and your life? Because ultimately that's what matters.
Yeah.
Loads of love.
Yes. Healthy habits is loving yourself. Never forget that.
Hmm. Hmm.